Hello there, Data Recovery Guru here. Hope all is well. Today I have some interesting content. I think you might like it. A couple weeks ago, my family and I took a few days off. We went to Jamaica on a short trip for a few days. It was because my niece graduated from high school, and we asked her what she would like to get as a gift, and she decided to take a trip to the Caribbean in Jamaica because she likes Jamaica, I guess. And I love Jamaica. I love the culture. I love the people. I love the food. I'm a big fan of reggae, especially Bob Marley. So whenever I hear going to Jamaica, I'm like, let's do it. Sign me up. um, but yes, so interesting story. So we went to Jamaica. We obviously enjoyed the weather, enjoy the place, we went to the beach, have fun. But whenever you go somewhere, you want to explore the place as well and learn a few things. And so we booked a trip, um, an excursion, like it's called over there. And one of the things that we've been wanting to do for a long time is visit Bob Marley's childhood home, um, and kind of like see where he grew up and what inspired him and stuff like that. So anyway, we went there. It was really fun. Um, Many things that were very interesting about Bob Marley, how he grew up, his parents, his family, his interesting story about how he got inspiration from living up in the mountains and looking over the other side of the mountains, and his music, his belief in Ethiopian church, um, and so on. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing all this up is because we could only do this with a proper guide, right? Who obviously drive us, because it's not so easy to drive over there. Especially here in the States, we drive on the left. I'm sorry, on the right hand side. Over there, because of the pretty British past, over there they drive on the left, like in the UK. So it's more difficult, going up in the mountains. The roads are narrower, so uh, here in America we're not used with this kind of driving. So anyway, we booked the excursion. So the reason really I'm making this video is because of our driver. Really nice guy. His name is Lyndon. Shout out to Lyndon. Thank you for your professionalism and friendliness and just a good time, uh, guiding us throughout the day. On that day, it was beautiful. Everything worked out nicely. So, anyways, during the excursion, as we were going, back and forth, talking and seeing places and stuff like that, you talk about history, where everybody's from, and economy and memories and whatever. Anyway, all kinds of like sorts of topics, that come up when you go on a visit. So, obviously, Lyndon asked everybody on the bus if they've been to Jamaica, how many times, where about, where we have visited, and so on. This is not our first time in Jamaica, but it's the first time going to Bob Marley's mausoleum and childhood home and stuff like that. So uh, we reversed asking him questions as well. Has he been to the United States or other countries and so on? So it turns out that our friend Lyndon, our driver, only went to the United States one time in California, and the reason and how everything ties in with me specifically is because when he went to California some, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly, he took photos, videos, and so on, and he stored them on his laptop. And as we were driving around in Jamaica a week ago, it turns out that his laptop died and he needed data recovery service. And it was just hilarious that we were in the bus, and my family members, as they were listening to the story with him talking about his laptop and stuff, they were all like pointing at me. He's the guy. He's the data recovery guru. That's what he does for a living. So it was hilarious how everybody's ears perked up. Um, so I talked to Lyndon. We were leaving next day, and we proposed to him that if he's interested and he's comfortable, to meet me next day to bring the laptop, and I'll take it back here to the United States and work on it and see if we can recover the files. He showed up next day. We met on Sunday morning, and I grabbed the laptop. I brought it here to the United States. It arrived safely, so I'm about to show you, the diagnostic process and how we are going to help Lyndon hopefully get his memories back. I'm optimistic. I really haven't done any in-depth kind of testing, just preliminary, because I would like for him to also see kind of what the recovery entails, because he's not very technologically savvy, especially with hard drives. And I promised that I would explain to him what's going on. So, anyways, great story with the trip, and hopefully this is going to be a good result with the recovery as well. I'm staying optimistic. So let me show you. All right, so it's an old compact laptop hard drive. It had Windows 7 originally on it. Move the battery. We removed this to see how much RAM this machine had, to see if there's any chance that we might bring it back to life. It's only 2 gigs of RAM. I looked at some of the RAM on eBay. It looks like 4 gigs, 2 sticks of 4 gigs each, 8 gigabytes in total. It's about $90. So I don't know. We'll see if we can do something with it. So we remove the cover here. Here's the hard drive. We removed it. Let me show what it looks like. Okay, so here's the hard drive. It's a Seagate 5400.6 hard drive. These are tricky drives. So let's see. Oh, by the way, here's the RAM. So we power the drive on. As you can see here, it stays busy. It tries to spin, but it's not getting ready. And the reason being is because it has a mechanical failure. Let me hear you the sound. Let me have you hear the sound. Sorry about that background noise because the cars are going by the shop and it's raining. But here it goes. It's making a beeping humming sound. It's hard to hear, but that's what it does. It's making a beeping sound, and that's because internally the hard drive's motor is trying to spin, but the reading head's mechanism is probably stuck in some kind of way and it's preventing that from happening. So it's a mechanical failure. So we are going to take the drive in the clean room, open it up, and see what is going on inside. Alright, so here we are in the clean room. We open the hard drive up. So as you can see, we're trying to move the motor. We're trying to spin the motor manually and it doesn't spin. Normally this should have been loose and spin loosely without any kind of interference, but it's not. So I'm trying to spin it manually and it's not spinning. But that's the problem. The motor is seized and it's preventing the drive from spinning. So the only solution here is to swap the disk to another compatible chassis, to another compatible hard drive, and that should solve the problem. Let's see if we have one in stock for this particular model, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we have a couple of compatible donor drives in stock. We have duals with damaged reading heads mechanism. This one has good reading heads, so we're going to use one of those to use the chassis from this drive because the motor is good, and then hopefully either Lyndon's hard drive's heads are still good. If those are not good, we're probably going to use this drive's reading heads as a donor. So we'll get to work and see what happens. We will begin the process shortly, but first we got to clean up a little bit so we have plenty of space in the clean room, because it's not good to work when there's chaos in here and we need to be organized. Also, this drive here, also has a stop over, so we need to swap this from this drive to this drive. So working on Linda's drive is perfect, because we start with an easier drive to work on, then move on to the more difficult drive over there. So stay with me, I'm finishing up, and then we'll get to work soon. Alright, so here's Lyndon's drive. Here's our donor that we have prepped. So we are going to take care of the last step here. pull out the disk and install it here. Oh, by the way, a lot of people think that it's just disassembly and then we take the components, whatever components are damaged from the patient, and we use the donors. But once the job is done, we have to undo all this work. All the components have to come back to each one of the drives. So it's not just this assembly once, right? To basically fit components from the patient drive using the donors components drive. Also, once the job is done and the files are recovered, we have to undo everything and then put the components from each one of the drives belonging to the donor as well as the customer, in case the customer wants the drive back, the patient wants the drive back, and also the donor go back in stock. So it takes time to do the job. Alright, so we disassembled Linda's drive here, getting ready for the last steps. That looks good. Pull up our donor chassis here, get our disk pickup tool. Alright. Alright. Now we have to do the reverse. We have to take the components from Linda's drive and reassemble the drive with everything that we need, and then we'll test and see how it goes. For reference, this is how the motor should be spinning freely. Alright, so Linda's drive with the new chassis has been reassembled. Let's go ahead and test and see how we make out. Alright, we got the drive hooked up. Let's power on. Power on. Stays busy. Hey, drive got ready. Let's see. Is it going to initialize correctly in the corner there? Let's see. Hey, it initializes correctly. That's good. Okay, see the family here, 5400.6. Let's access the firmware. Alright, that looks good. Let's do a backup of the firmware. Alright, let me go. Backing up the firmware. This particular system file has some issues. Yeah, so the drive has a little bit of a kink here and there where it's not working great. See, it times out with error. Let's power cycle, I'm sorry. Okay, so instead it looks like module copy 2 has issues, so let's just save only copy 0 here, or copy 1. Let's do copy 1, or let's do composite copy. Alright, so let's do that. Should be running smoother now. Okay, so we're going to back up the firmware here. I'm going to pause for a second, and then we are going to try to see if we can access the folder structure, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we created a task for Lyndon here. Alright, we're gonna make a copy. We're gonna clone to this drive here. Alright, creating the task. Alright, let's build a heads map to make sure that both heads are working correctly. Do you want to spin down? No. Alright, this is gonna take a little while. I'm gonna pause and we'll come back. Okay, we built a heads map. As you saw physically, the drive had 2 heads, right? So here in the software, let's test to see if both heads can read. Head 0, head 1, head 0, head 1. Both heads can read correctly, so that's good. Alright, now let's see. Can we access the folder structure? This should be an NTFS system. Hey, there we go. Okay, so we have access to the folder structure. Let's see how much data is on the hard drive. Okay, there's about 145 gigabytes, but we are going to trim down all of the system files, Windows files, and so on. So there should be less of an amount because we are only going to recover the data files. That's it. All right, this should be a good recovery. Lyndon should be happy. It's a good story about Jamaica. We're going to see if we can bring this machine back to life, upgrade the RAM, and install a SATA solid state drive to see if we can bring it back to life by installing like a Linux Mint kind of operating system, which is very light on the computer. So we may still be able to use it for a little bit just to do basic web browsing or maybe watch a CD or DVD or something. For very basic functionality, we might be able to bring this to life. Obviously, it's going to be slow and not so great, but just for a little enjoyment, should be good. If that doesn't work, then we'll probably deliver the data to Lyndon in Jamaica, either maybe through a cloud service or something, or if we are going back, maybe we go back this winter for holidays or some other time. I don't know. We'll see. We can probably give it to him on, deliver it to him on an external hard drive. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, comment below. If you need a professional data recovery service anywhere in the world, the farthest we had a customer from is Australia, I believe. Thailand. We have people from Thailand send stuff to us. And we are here in the Northeast. We are our base is Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New England area. We get a lot of customers from New York as well. So New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, and so on. This is kind of like our area of operation. So if you need help, professional help, let us know. We'll be happy to help you. Just go to datarecoveryguru.com. Click on any blue button you see there on the website. One of them is called Let's Start with a Free Diagnosis. Click on it with your mouse. You'll be presented with a form asking for your name, email address, and so on. Fill it out. Select how you like to arrange for the diagnosis, and we'll be in touch with you shortly after. If you have questions, call, text, WhatsApp, Signal, or Telegram at this number. Ideally with some photos of the drive and potentially a video of how it behaves, whether it's clicking, unmounting, or whatever, and that will give us a little bit of more of an insight of kind of like what to expect, and we'll be able to provide you a quick consultation and explain what we may think the problem may be. All right, thanks so much. All the best. Take care. Have a good one.